There are stories of success that inspire you. Then there are stories that completely rewire how you think about sacrifice, ambition, and what it actually takes to win. This is one of those stories. This is about a man who survived third-degree burns, slept in his car, worked jobs that broke his spirit, yet still managed to stand on the Mr. Olympia stage and build a multi-million-dollar empire. This is about Mahmood Al Durrah. Most people quit when life gets uncomfortable. Mahmood kept pushing when his skin was literally burning off his body. Let that sink in for a moment. While you're contemplating whether to hit the gym today or start that business idea, this man was in a hospital bed with third-degree burns, already planning his comeback. That's not motivation. That's a different species of human being. Born in Egypt, Mahmood wasn't destined for greatness by any conventional measure. He was just a kid who felt uncomfortable in his own skin. At 19, he made a decision that would alter the trajectory of his entire existence. He walked into a gym, not because he wanted to become Mr. Olympia, not because he dreamed of millions of followers. He just wanted to feel better about himself. He wanted to look in the mirror and not feel ashamed. That simple desire, that basic human need for self-respect, became the seed of an empire. While studying civil engineering at the American University in Cairo, Mahmood discovered something most people never find. He discovered that he could draw, not just sketches, but cartoon bodies in exaggerated, caricatured ways. Those drawings sparked something deeper. He looked at those exaggerated physiques he was creating on paper and thought, what if I could build that in real life? What if my body could become the artwork? From that moment, bodybuilding stopped being just exercise. It became his craft, his obsession, his religion. But here's where most success stories get it wrong. They make it sound easy. They skip the part where you fail repeatedly, where doubt crushes you, where your body betrays you, and your bank account laughs at your dreams. Mahmood competed in university championships 5 times. 5 times he lost. 5 times he had to walk off that stage, knowing he wasn't good enough. Most people would have quit after the second loss. The third loss would have destroyed their confidence entirely. But Mahmood understood something that separates winners from everyone else. Losing isn't failure. Quitting is failure. Losing is just expensive education. On his 5th attempt, just before graduating with his engineering degree, Mahmood finally won the Egyptian University and Collegiate Nationals. He didn't just win. He became the first person in his university's history to claim that title. That victory proved a fundamental truth. Persistence doesn't guarantee success, but giving up guarantees failure. Every single time. After graduation, Mahmood married and moved to the United Arab Emirates to work as a sales engineer. Decent job, stable income, the kind of path that makes parents proud and friends envious. But then he received an opportunity that millions of people dream about. He got approved to move to Canada, the land of opportunity, the place where hard work supposedly pays off, the immigrant dream. So he took the jump. He left everything behind: security, familiarity, comfort. He chose potential over certainty. What happened next is the part they don't show you in motivational videos. Mahmood landed in Quebec with responsibilities weighing on him and absolutely zero connections. He didn't speak French. He couldn't find engineering work. The Canadian dream turned into a Canadian nightmare. He cleaned cars. He washed dishes. He worked at a gas station. Jobs that would make most people with an engineering degree feel like complete failures. Jobs that destroy your sense of self-worth. Jobs that make you question every decision that led you to that moment. But here's what makes Mahmood different. While working these soul-crushing jobs, while his hands smelled like gasoline and dish soap, While his body ached from manual labor, he still found time to train. Still found energy to prepare for competitions. Still maintained the vision of who he was becoming. That's not discipline. That's delusion in the most beautiful sense of the word. The absolute refusal to accept your current reality as your permanent identity. 2012 became his breakthrough year. Mahmood won the Canadian Nationals in the middleweight division. First attempt. He didn't ease into it. He didn't build up slowly. He showed up and dominated. Finally, the sacrifices started making sense. The name Mahmood Al Durrah began circulating in global bodybuilding circles. People started paying attention. Sponsors started noticing. The immigrant kid who was washing dishes months earlier was now a national champion. Then, life decided to test him again. Because that's what life does to people who dare to dream big. It doesn't just challenge you once, it keeps throwing punches until you either quit or prove you're unbreakable. In 2013, Mahmood was caught in a house fire. Third-degree burns covered his body. The kind of burns that leave permanent scars. The kind of pain that makes strong men cry. The kind of injury that gives you a perfectly reasonable excuse to quit bodybuilding forever. Nobody would have blamed him. Everyone would have understood. But Mahmood wasn't looking for understanding or sympathy. He was looking for a comeback. 2 years later, in 2015, Mahmood won the Canadian Nationals again. Let that timeline sink in. House fire, third-degree burns, excruciating recovery. Then back on stage, oiled up, shredded, victorious. While he was in that hospital bed, while doctors were treating his burns, while pain medications flowed through his system, he was already planning his return. That's not positive thinking. That's pathological commitment to a vision. That's the mindset that separates legends from people who had potential. By 2016, Mahmood wasn't just competing anymore. He was building. He opened his own supplement company, Durabolic Nutrition. Not just as a side hustle, as a real business. He became the first bodybuilder in the Middle East to establish a nutritional supplement company. While other athletes were chasing prize money and sponsorships, Mahmood was studying contracts, learning about profit margins, understanding how to monetize an audience. He was thinking 10 steps ahead. That same year, he won the North American Legacy Cup. This wasn't just Canada anymore. This was Canada, the United States, Mexico, and all surrounding islands. The competition level jumped exponentially. The stakes were higher, the physiques were more impressive, and Mahmood still won. He moved up a weight class, more muscle, more conditioning, more dominance. He was proving that he could compete and win at any level. 2017 was the year everything changed. Mahmood won the North American Legacy Cup again. But this time, he didn't just win his weight class. He won the overall title, beating every other weight class. When you win overall, you're not just the best in your division, you're the best on that entire stage. That victory earned him his IFBB Pro card. He turned professional. He joined the elite ranks of bodybuilders worldwide. Only a tiny fraction of people who start lifting weights ever reach that level. Mahmood went from third-degree burns to IFBB Pro in 2 years. Let that percolate in your mind for a second. Here's where the story gets even more insane. Mahmood's rookie year as a professional bodybuilder. Most pros spend years competing, learning, adjusting, before they qualify for the sport's biggest stage. Mahmood won a professional contest in his first year as a pro. That victory qualified him for Mr. Olympia in 2018. Mr. Olympia, the Super Bowl of bodybuilding, the absolute pinnacle, the stage where legends are made. And Mahmood stood on it. In his rookie year. There are very few professionals in the entire world who accomplish that. Winning a pro show and qualifying for Mr. Olympia in your first year as a pro typically takes others half a decade or more. Mahmood did it immediately. That wasn't luck. That was years of suffering compressed into explosive success. But competitions were just one revenue stream. Mahmood understood something that most athletes miss entirely. Your body is temporary. Injuries happen. Age happens. You can't compete forever. So while you're at your peak, while people are watching, while your name carries weight, you need to build businesses that outlive your athletic career. Mahmood documented everything: his burns, his struggles as an immigrant, his motorcycle accident back in Egypt, his contest preps. He built a YouTube channel that now has over 1.4 million subscribers and more than 258 million views. Those aren't just vanity metrics. Those are business assets. Those views generate anywhere from $7,000 to over $200,000 annually in advertising revenue alone. But YouTube money was just the beginning. After winning his second Canadian Nationals, Mahmood started coaching. First, just bodybuilders, people who wanted to compete. Then he expanded to everyday people, regular folks who just wanted to lose weight, build muscle, feel confident. He didn't use cookie-cutter programs. He created custom plans, detailed workouts, nutrition strategies tailored to individual body types, schedules, and goals. He treated a housewife in Toronto with the same attention to detail as a competitor preparing for nationals. That approach built something most fitness professionals never achieve: trust, credibility, results. By 2016, Mahmood transformed his coaching from a side gig into an actual corporation. He hired people to handle social media, sales teams to manage client acquisition. He systematized the entire operation. Durrah Nation wasn't just his brand anymore. It was a company, a machine that could operate without him being involved in every single decision. That's the difference between a coach and an entrepreneur. Coaches trade time for money. Entrepreneurs build systems that generate money while they sleep. The supplement company Durabolic Nutrition taught Mahmood critical business lessons: how to negotiate contracts, how to position a brand, how to monetize an audience effectively. After 2 years of running it, he sold the company, not because it was failing, because he recognized that his coaching business had more potential and he needed to focus his energy. That decision proved correct. Shortly after selling Durabolic Nutrition, Mahmood signed with Redcon One, one of North America's largest supplement companies, as a sponsored athlete. Then came 3 more contracts: Iron Bull Strength, Fitmenu, Wikibolics. Each deal added another income stream. Each partnership expanded his reach. As his portfolio grew, Mahmood diversified into real estate and stocks. He wasn't satisfied with fitness income alone. He understood that real wealth comes from multiple sources, from assets that appreciate, from investments that compound. He was building generational wealth, not just comfortable athlete money. By 2020, his coaching company had over 4,000 subscribers worldwide, 4,000 people paying him monthly to tell them what to eat and how to train. Do the math on that. Even at modest prices, that's serious revenue. Add in YouTube ad revenue, sponsorship deals, speaking engagements, and you're looking at multiple 6 figures annually, possibly breaking into 7 figures. But here's the cost nobody talks about. Mahmood works 12 to 18 hours daily. Not occasionally, not during busy seasons, every single day. He's experienced hair loss from the stress, permanent eye bags from the sleep deprivation. Trimming his beard became a luxury he rarely has time for. He's been hospitalized multiple times from the physical toll. When asked about work-life balance, his answer is brutally honest. If you want a slightly above-average income, a nice car, a comfortable home, then yes, Balance is possible. But if you want multiple cars, maybe some supercars, a massive home, luxury travel 2 to 3 times yearly to the best resorts, if you want your money working for you instead of constantly trading time for income, then no. Balance is a fantasy. The process is gruesome. Blood, sweat, and guts. Horror stories that would make most people quit immediately. Most people sort of want success. They like the idea of it. They enjoy fantasizing about it. But very few are willing to die for it. Mahmood is. He's had his fair share of hospital visits, third-degree burns, injuries from training, stress-related health issues. He's paid prices most people can't even imagine. And he'd do it all again, because he knows something most people never learn. Comfort is the enemy of greatness. Easy is the enemy of extraordinary. If you're not willing to suffer, you don't deserve to succeed. His competition stats tell only part of the story. In 2018, he competed at Mr. Olympia in the 212 division, finishing 16th. Not first, not even top 10, but he was there, on that stage, among the world's best. In 2018, he placed 4th at the New York Pro, 3rd at Toronto Pro Super Show, 1st at Vancouver Pro. That Vancouver win is what qualified him for Olympia. By 2019, he placed 2nd at Toronto Pro Super Show and 2nd at Europa Dallas. In 2022, he placed 3rd at the IFBB Van City Pro. These aren't just placings, they're proof that he belongs at the highest level, that the kid from Egypt who used to draw cartoon muscles is now standing next to the most genetically gifted, chemically enhanced, disciplined athletes on planet Earth. His clients come from everywhere: Toronto, Hong Kong, Miami, Saudi Arabia. They rave about his programs. One client said the level of detail is incredible, everything crystal clear, and that Mahmood actually listened to his specific needs instead of sending generic templates. Another said he's seeing changes almost every day. Energy levels are up, feels great. A client in Edmonton lost 5 kilos faster than ever before and immediately upgraded to full coaching. These testimonials aren't from fake accounts or paid reviews. These are real people with real results. That's why his business grows through word of mouth. That's why he doesn't need to advertise aggressively. Results sell themselves. As a father of 2, Mahmood faces the challenge of balancing professional bodybuilding, running multiple businesses, and being present for his children. Parenting while building an empire requires sacrifice from everyone involved. His children understand that their father works constantly. It's not perfect. It's not what parenting books recommend. But it's the reality of building an empire. He's explicit about this. The 10-year process to reach the point where the company runs itself, where employees handle 80% of the work, where you can finally enjoy life and family and friends, that decade is brutal. Hair loss and eye bags become your new look. You really have to need it, not just want it. In 2014, when one of his sons was getting bullied at daycare, Mahmood did something most parents wouldn't think of. He dressed up as Spider-Man and visited the daycare. The other kids thought his son was friends with the real Spider-Man. The bullying stopped. That memory stayed with his son. Years later, after retiring from competitive bodybuilding following back surgery, Mahmood took that idea to another level. He purchased a full Batman costume, the replica from the 2017 Justice League movie, and started visiting children with special needs across Montreal. Not for money, not for publicity, just to make kids smile. Because career success isn't as fulfilling as helping others. When people ask him about his heroes, Mahmood references Muhammad Ali, the way Ali's voice echoed in hearts worldwide, how he made people feel inspired precisely when they needed it most, bringing out the best in others. That's what success means to Mahmood. not money, not fame. Making people feel a certain way. Making others feel inspired. That's the epitome of achievement. That perspective explains why Mahmood shares his struggles so openly. The burns, the immigration hardships, the failures. He knows that his story gives other people permission to keep fighting. His scars prove that damage doesn't define you. How you respond to damage defines you. In interviews, Mahmood is refreshingly honest about the realities of bodybuilding. When asked about his drug protocols, he doesn't dance around the topic. He openly discusses it. He explains that his gear protocol from 2015 to 2016 was relatively similar. His bigger issue was food. He struggled to digest carbs. Over 2 years, he slowly increased his tolerance. In 2015, more than 300 grams of carbs daily would bloat him. His carb load-up was only 350 grams. By 2016, he could eat 450 grams daily with no issues, and his carb up reached nearly 600 grams. He ate what worked for his body. Fish shut down his appetite, as did oatmeal. So for 18 weeks straight, he ate only chicken breasts, eggs, and white rice. Societies of chickens probably have him on a watch list, he jokes. But that monotony, that willingness to eat the same meal dozens of times daily for months, that's what separates pros from pretenders. His advice for people trying to get in shape cuts through fitness industry nonsense. Most people, including women, don't lift heavy enough. To shape your body, muscle has to grow. No way around it. Even women trying to eliminate cellulite need muscle growth. Skin tightens when muscle develops underneath. Curves, glutes, hips, all shaped by muscle. So how does muscle grow? It needs to experience stress it hasn't encountered before. The muscle essentially thinks it needs to adapt to this new stress by growing stronger. Progressive overload isn't a suggestion, it's the only path. For cardio, Mahmood keeps it simple. Steady-state Stairmaster for 30 to 45 minutes, not more. He's not doing intense HIIT sessions or complicated protocols, just consistent, moderate-intensity cardio that burns fat without interfering with muscle recovery. That simplicity is what most people need. Not the latest trendy workout, not some influencer's 37-step protocol, just basic proven methods applied consistently over time. When discussing online fitness advice, Mahmood offers a framework for evaluating who to trust. Look at their resume. Do some digging. If they're not professional athletes, have they created professional athletes? Have they become professional coaches? If they're neither athletes nor coaches, how successful are they really at helping others? Do they have genuine testimonials from real people? What's their reputation? What does their lifestyle actually look like? And does it reflect real success or Instagram fake success? He points out people who drive fancy cars but live in one-bedroom apartments. That's a red flag. Real success shows up in every area of life, not just the parts carefully curated for social media. Mahmood's future plans continue the expansion trajectory. He wants to grow his coaching company to far greater heights. He's considering a diet meal prep company where his team creates the actual food for clients. He wants to develop courses on becoming a successful fitness entrepreneur, on how to be unique in an oversaturated, brutally competitive market. Motivational seminars, maybe even a children's book. He's always been into writing and comic art. His soul needs that creative outlet. The same kid who used to draw exaggerated cartoon muscles now wants to create stories for children. That full circle moment shows that success doesn't require abandoning who you were. It requires becoming more fully yourself. With over 2.5 million followers across social media platforms, Mahmood has been called the King of Online Coaching. That title wasn't given, it was earned. One client at a time, one transformation at a time, one genuine result at a time. In an industry full of fake natties, unrealistic expectations, and predatory business practices, Mahmood built his reputation on customization, honesty, and results. No cookie-cutter programs, no false promises, no shortcuts, just hard work, smart programming, and accountability. The lesson in Mahmood Al Durrah's story isn't about bodybuilding. It's about refusing to accept limitations that others place on you. It's about understanding that your current circumstances are temporary unless you decide they're permanent. It's about working while others sleep, training while others scroll, building while others complain. It's about getting third-degree burns and deciding that pain is just another obstacle to overcome. It's about being an immigrant with no connections and deciding that makes you hungrier, not weaker. Mahmood proved that success is a choice, an expensive, painful, relentless choice that most people aren't willing to make. He proved that you can survive house fires, financial devastation, and repeated failures, and still build an empire. He proved that the only person who can stop you is you. Everything else is just noise, just obstacles, just tests to see if you really want it, or if you're just pretending. So the question isn't whether Mahmood Al Durrah's story is impressive. Obviously it is. The question is what you're going to do with the uncomfortable truth his story reveals. That you're probably not working hard enough. That you're probably making excuses he would have destroyed. That you probably quit way too early on dreams that were absolutely achievable. That gap between where you are and where you want to be isn't about talent or luck or circumstances. It's about the decisions you make every single day when nobody's watching. It's about whether you'll keep pushing when your skin is burning, your bank account is empty, and every logical person is telling you to quit. Mahmood Al Durrah didn't wait for permission, didn't wait for perfect conditions, didn't wait for motivation. He just started. And when life knocked him down, he got back up. When burns covered his body, he healed and competed again. When jobs crushed his spirit, he trained anyway. When businesses failed, he built new ones. That's not a success story. That's a blueprint. The question is whether you have the courage to follow it.